Hi, everyone, and welcome to Lunchtime with the Librarian. I am Amy Moskovitz, and I'm the reference manager here at the Haverford Township Free Library. I'm here today with a person that works in our youth service department. This is Jules. Thank you so much for being with us today, Jules.
Sure, yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Jules, can you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Jules. I work in the youth services department here at Haverford Township Free Library. I'm 28 years old. I'm getting my master's in library science, and I love dogs. That's a little bit about myself there.
Thank you. What do you love most about working at the library?
I love how much libraries have to offer. A lot of people don't realize how much libraries have to offer. There's this misconception that's just been going around for a long time that libraries are dry, empty places, that you just can get books if you have to, but that's really not true. And a lot of people do realize it's not true. There are programs ranging from crafts to book clubs. The children's department has story times and all kinds of different programs. It's just really like a hub of activity and communication, and I love that about libraries.
Absolutely. I agree. What did you do before you were a librarian?
Before this, I was an SAT and ACT prep tutor. So I helped kids get ready for the big tests that are just coming and looming at them, and I hopefully help them. I also worked in a food truck, doing like breakfast foods and stuff like that.
Very interesting. Two very important jobs.
Yeah.
In different ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
What drew you to libraries?
What I said earlier, I was saying, the misconceptions that people have about libraries. I was surprised myself to learn what libraries have to offer. Like, I was also under that misconception that a lot of people have. But the more I learned about libraries, the more I realized that I wanted to work in one because I like how much of a hub of information they are in communication. And so the more I learned, the more I realized that that's what I want to do.
Oh, fantastic. Well, we're so glad that you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
What are some of your favorite books?
My favorite book is Moby Dick. I love Moby Dick because it's so full of different thoughts and ideas. So many like voices and narrative styles, different styles of writing, the perspectives, philosophies, the whole style of the book just changes and shifts, and you kind of take a journey with it. And I just love that. And I'm also a big fan of the short stories of Jorge Luis Borges. I've recently been really interested in his stuff, and I definitely recommend Borges and Moby Dick as well.
Oh, thanks. Some great recommendations for our listeners. Do you have a favorite genre?
I love horror in general. I'm a big fan of horror movies, but when it comes to the book, that love of horror it takes the form of Gothic literature, which is what I focus on in grad school. I just love Gothic literature. And I'm also recently getting into metafiction. So like Jorge Luis Borges, who I mentioned, and Umberto Eco and Italo Calvino. So it's all just kind of like this meta kind of literature, and it's really, I think it's really cool.
Fantastic. Thanks. What were some of your favorite books growing up?
Growing up, I read a lot of classics, like kind of older books mostly, like, Alice in Wonderland. I read the whole Wizard of Oz series. There's actually a lot of books in that series. Like The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, of course, Phantom Tollbooth. I loved fairy tales. One of the big accomplishments as a kid that I remember having was getting through the whole copy of Grimm's fairy tales, and I was very impressed with myself, and it was a lot of fun. Remember that. It was a good memory. So.
So aside from reading, what are some of your hobbies?
The big one is drawing. Drawing is my main big hobby besides reading, of course. And I love being able to use my drawing for the library, which I've been able to do. And I'm happy with, I'm very excited about that. And I'm working on, an illustration project of my own. But I'm also a movie fan. I love, as I said, horror movies. I've been trying to learn German since I was in high school. I'm still very, very bad at it. Very bad at trying to converse in German. But I also play baritone ukulele, and I'm trying to teach myself the banjo, and it's very slow going. But it's fun, so it's a hobby, I guess.
Wow, so music and art, lots of diverse hobbies outside of reading. Where do you like to travel or visit?
I don't actually do a whole lot of traveling. you know, especially not right now. In the past, though, when I was in college, I was lucky enough to be able to do a semester in Oxford University. So that was really cool. I was very fortunate
Wow.
to be able to. Yeah, it was fun. It was a really cool town, and it was a good time. It was really cool.
If you could live in any book universe, where would you live?
I thought of this before, and honestly, not any of them. I wouldn't want to live in any of them. But if it was just to visit, I wouldn't mind, you know, having a beer with the hobbits. That'd be kind of cool. But I can't think of any universe I'd want to live in besides this one. You know, I don't know. So that, yeah.
True. So each one.
What's that?
Each one has their pros and cons, I suppose.
They do. And I just feel like I wouldn't do well in any of them. I just picture myself just not doing well in any of them. Lord of the Rings one, no. You know, Narnia, I wouldn't do too well there. Star Trek, this is TV, not book, but yeah. not. So, but visiting would be cool.
Yeah. So kind of changing topic here, what's your favorite virtual program that we've done? Recently, we've had to switch to 100% virtual because of COVID-19, and we've done a myriad of virtual programs. Do you have a favorite?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because there's so many different ones that we've had. One of the things I really like about the virtual programs that we have is like when we like in the children's department, we have STEM programs. And I think that's really cool because, you know, we do story times and everything, but teaching like the science and stuff like that, even at a very young age, like I think that's really important. So I really appreciate those programs. I don't do those programs. I think it's mostly Danielle that does them, but I really love that we offer that stuff. I think that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Those are really fascinating. What are you reading now?
I just started a nonfiction book called Propaganda and Persuasion. It's just kind of analyzing how propaganda works, politically, commercially, historically, psychologically. It's really cool so far. And I just got finished an audiobook where a bunch of comedians talk in different chapters to a fictional therapist called Dr. Katz. It's from a show, Dr. Katz Professional Therapist. This is an audiobook of it. And it was very funny, and I enjoyed listening to that. That was cool. So.
Oh, the propaganda one sounds like it might be good for our nonfiction book club.
Yes.
We'll keep that in mind.
It's cool so far. It's informative and kind of unnerving. So.
Definitely.
Very interesting.
So what advice would you give, Jules, to someone who wants to be a librarian?
You know, besides learning the Dewey Decimal System as much as you can, I would say don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask away. If you have a question, just, you know, like there's so many little details of trying to learn how to work in the library, and each library has their own like little details about how they work. And, you know, they all work differently than other libraries. So it takes a while to learn every little thing about all the different facets of working here. So don't be afraid to ask questions. I think that's good advice. I think probably in general, really, but definitely.
Yeah, that's great advice. And what do you like, last question, what do you like about serving the patrons here at Haverford Township?
I love this community of patrons always seems so like excited to be here, and I love that. I enjoy helping people find the books that they need. So like sometimes people are not sure where to go to find the books, and then sometimes they don't even know what they're looking for. So it's kind of like a puzzle sometimes, just kind of piecing together what it is that they need for whatever they're working on. And I like the process of putting together, you know, what a patron needs and helping them find it. And as I said, this community of patrons, especially that frequent the youth services department, they're wonderful. They're always so excited to be here, and to the point where like I'm excited for them. So that's great.
Well, thank you again so much, Jules, for being here with us today. It was great to learn a little bit more about you. Every Friday, the third Friday of the month, we have our Lunchtime with a Librarian, and we bring on different members of the library community. And thank you, Jules, for being our librarian this month.
Sure. Yeah, I was happy to be here. It's fun.
All right. Thanks again. And please join us next month as we bring on another person.
All right.
Bye.